Toronto. Self-explanatory. These guys are god like the only map losses they had were is it lowercase s? Lowercase s. Hate that. Only map losses they have were control, right? I think that's it, right? I think the only ones they have were control. Yeah, these guys are godlike across the board, every game mode, teamwork, listen-ins. Listen-ins are probably the most impressive thing about this team. If you guys want to learn what Call of Duty should sound like, go listen to that. MVP currently on their team. All 4 players contribute in every single game mode. Jamie can't lose a single 1v1 ever. Toby is finally getting the gas that he deserves. Big Toby guy. Dill fit this team in every facet the exact way that they needed. Like, I mean, Pat said it was the best roster change over the offseason. I am now inclined to agree with him. Dill just literally sent this team into the stratosphere. So, yeah, these guys are fucking unbelievable. There's no argument. I don't need to elaborate. Event winner. Next we do FaZe. These guys have, it seems like hardpoint issues, or at least on the weekend it did. It's definitely their shaky game mode. They're really good at control, like phenomenal at control, which is good, because being good at swing mode when you're in a top like 1, 2, 3 team echelon is very, very big for those matchups. So control looks really, really good. Hardpoint is shaky, which going forward against the other top teams, being Ultra and Optic, they're the 2 best hardpoint teams. So that is where FaZe is clearly lacking. So they're going to need to go home and figure that out for sure. I would probably just compare it to like the way Optic is with hardpoint, or with Search and Destroy, excuse me. So, yeah, I don't really think that you, and I'm going to put Optic in A because they beat the shit out of them 3 times, and I cannot, in good faith, have a team that beat the shit out of another team 3 times in the same tier. That doesn't make sense to me. Which is why I want like this tier, because like then it would have to do this, and this would make no sense. So we leave it here. Optic is miles better than pretty much everyone else down here. I don't think they're better than FaZe though, so you kind of have to have them in a separate tier. Granted, this series were close. There's literal like one gunfight situations in the way that they lost their series against FaZe. I will absolutely agree with that, but they lost 3 times. So if it was like a 1 series thing and it was like a 240, 250, 6-5, 3-2, like sure, there's a genuine argument. They beat them 3 times. They cannot be in the same tier. Again, the way that Optic is playing, I just went on a 20-minute tangent about it. They have S&D problems. They're the 2nd best hardpoint team in the game right now statistically. That is their edge over FaZe. Granted, they did lose 2 of them to FaZe in losers finals. So I think that was more FaZe like leveling up in the moment than it was like Optic being poor. Also, Ken finally had a bad series. I think either Ken and Shotzi or Ken and Bruce had a bad series, but yeah, they have an S&D problem, and I'm assuming they'll go home and fix it. FaZe has a hardpoint problem. I'm assuming they'll go home and fix it. Ultra has a nothing problem. Those guys are godlike. So this is our top 3. Everything else down here right now is super subjective, very nitpicky. It's going to get a little weird once we get into all of these teams, but this is definitively top 3. I don't think that there's any argument from that is feasible for anything else than this. So, we'll just go in order. Boston. Oh god, dude. Okay, chat. I'm just going to think out loud, and then I'll rank them. I'll rank them last. I'll rank them after I think out loud. So the thing that I absolutely hate about Boston is that they play all of the really good teams, being Ultra, FaZe, maybe not New York, and Optic. Like, they play these guys very well. They play up. So that is what is like giving me a little bit of reservation and ranking them low. But at the same time, when they play dog shit teams, this series are close or they lose. And I don't know if that's like a mentality thing. I don't know if they are like not taking them as seriously as it was, or like whatever. But they took FaZe to a game 5. They 3-0'd Toronto. They took New York to a game 5, choked the dog shit out of it. Like they play up really well. They don't play down and they don't play on their own level very well at all. So like that's where the reservation is, because they should be better than they are, which granted a lot of these teams should be, but I feel like I have to put them in C. I would love to put them in B, but I just cannot do that. I don't know. This team is like such a weird ass dynamic, dude. Like it's the exact opposite. You would expect them to get absolutely shit on by everybody. That's not, or you expect them to beat everybody not in the top 4 and then just lose to the top 4, but it's just the exact opposite. So I don't know what it is. They also have an ice problem, which is just terrible. That game 5 was fucking misery to watch. That high-rise S&D, if you guys watched that. Yeah, I feel like I kind of got to put them in C. I would love to put them in B, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like I said, it has to be like a mentality thing at this point. I have no idea, to be honest. They're about to change. Potentially. The thing with this team, I think, who said? I think it was Chris. Chris said it on the flank a couple days ago. Is like, I think this is one of the few teams that if they made a change, the player they made a change for would stay in the league. So if they were to drop Cap, which I think is probably everyone's first choice here, I think he would actually stay in the league. I think he would go somewhere else, which would be good for him. But yeah, this team just has a sub problem. They just seem like they're all over the place. So we're gonna put Boston in C. Miami, fucking me, god damn it. I want to put them here. I do. I think they are a B tier team, but like fuck me, dude. They got 6-0 this weekend. Bad. Like I think they're. Okay, are they better enough than everyone else here? Because I don't think they're close here. I don't think any of these are close. I don't think a single one of these series is close right now. If they were to play right now, I think they get fucking destroyed by all of these. Are these guys so far ahead of the rest of the team to put them in B? I don't think so. To be honest. Like, I want to put them in B for my Vamos Bucks. But I don't think that these series are close. And I don't think they're good enough above all of these guys to put them in B, to be honest. So I feel like I kind of have to put them in C, which is tough because I was super high on them, just personal bias. I was like very high on them before the event. And I think understandably so. I think a lot of people were. They had a really good online stage. They looked good in all game modes. I think they're like super good at control. Let me find it really quick. Yeah, they're 6-3 in control. You could just like watch the minimap and tell that they played well together. And then I think they went to LAN and like kind of shit themselves. Journey had a really rough event. Journey kind of got fried a little bit. So they were kind of playing 3v4, but even then, like the plays that they were making, like it didn't seem to the level of what it was online. And I'm not going to call them onliners. Granted, they got fucking fried. They got 6-0'd. But I don't necessarily think they're onliners. I think that like Journey just had a relatively poor event, and I don't know, it didn't go well. But I think I have to put them in C just based on the weekend. I would love to put them in B. I think they're still a good team, but I just don't think that they're right there right now, or they are B right now. You know who is B though? LAG. I'm happy LAG had a good event. Fame. Shout out to that guy. He played well. He was probably like the one player who I was like super high on in the offseason going into this year because of that whole like Minnesota debacle with his role, like having to run an AR when he was a sub in challengers the whole time, aka Abuza now. I was super high on him because like I knew him as a player very well. And once he switched back to a sub towards the end of the year, like he started fucking shooting his gun again, which duh. So I was high on him going into the offseason. I'm happy he got a league spot. Granted, I would have liked to see it somewhere else just because I thought he was a little bit of a better player than landing on like this LAG squad because everyone was super low on them to start the year. So I thought that he was going to kind of get like recycled out a little bit, but it turns out fucking this LAG team is gross, dude. They have 0 ice. I mean, fucking none at all. But these guys are good, and they put themselves in winning situations. They're basically Vegas if Vegas won the series every now and then instead of getting reverse swept. So I'm happy Kevin had a good event, Fame. I was super hard on him over the online stage because he was like just definitively their worst player, and he was like just getting bluntly shit on. And he showed up and played like fucking phenomenal COD. So he picked it up. They performed well. DiamondCon, bro, Connor has a legitimate argument to be like a top 10, 12 player in this game right now, which is great for them in terms of the respawn. They are, let's see here, 4-10 in S&D. Not great. Unfortunately. They are like 50-50. I think they literally are 50-50 in hardpoint. Yeah, they're 8-8. And then in control, they're 6-5. So the respawn is hit or miss. When it's hit, it's hitting. Their S&D is a very big problem, though. So they need to figure that out. They have absolutely no ice, like I said. But the thing that they do have going for them is the culture, and which is like, it sounds memey and it sounds like a gimmicky term, like when you guys talk about teams and stuff. Like, culture is a very important thing in Call of Duty. If you don't like the guys that you're spending 8 hours a day with, you're not going to be a good team, barring the fucking Cole Dynasty, which, you know, whatever. But if you guys don't get along with your teammates for the amount of time and the amount of effort and, like, just mental shit that it takes to be a good Call of Duty team, if you don't like each other, you're not going to be a good team. And from talking to DiamondCon on the flank and talking to Chris about them, and just, like, they have a very good dynamic about their team, and I think that they, like, came into the league understanding that they weren't competing for top 4. I think that, like, everybody literally was writing them off immediately. We were all calling them terrible. We were putting them in fucking my ass tier. Like, there was just no world where we thought that this team was going to be good. And turns out they have one of the better team dynamics and team chemistry in the league. So that is the reason that I'm high on them, because they understand, like, what it takes to improve and, like, have realistic expectation while also expecting to win every series, because that's like a very weird line to have to draw. Because, like, these guys know they're not going to be a top 4 team right now. They did just get 6th, right? Lost to Minnesota for 4th. So I mean, they're doing the damn thing. So I think they deserve B for sure. These motherfuckers. These motherfuckers, man. Oh my god, bro. If I gotta watch, brother in Christ, if I gotta watch one more reverse sweep, dude, they have 3 on the series, or 3 on the year. 3. Not a single other team has 1. They don't have 1. Nobody else in the league, and these guys have fucking 3 of them, dude. When I say no ice, this shit is like global warming. The ice caps are melting, fucking throwing the earth into the sun levels of ice. It is so abysmally bad to watch, because, like I said, these guys would literally be LAG if they closed the series. I swear to God. Like, you have 2 very good players in the Dill duo, Attach and Nero. They're gross. Like, the fact that this team is where they are and the consistency that you have seen out of both of them is so depressing to me, because this is like an Attached, like, renaissance, dude. This year, Dylan has played lights out COD from beginning to end, or not end, but beginning to current. And I feel so bad for the spot that they're in. Like, they are so fucking bad at clutching a goddamn series, dude. And it's because their control is just so god awful. Like, when you're bad at a swing mode, shit like this happens, chat. They're 2-7. The only team that's worse in control is Seattle at 2-9. So when you are up 2-0 and you have a guaranteed map loss game 3, that just, it especially, it's not even factoring in, like, team A, team B. Are you getting your map pick for game 4? Or is your map pick game 1? Are you losing control going into a bad side for game 4? Are you losing control going into not your map pick for game 4? So, like, that's where reverse sweeps happen. And these guys, like, even Estriel, right? When they beat them, he literally said in a post-game interview on the stage, live on YouTube.television, He said, yeah, these guys are dog shit at control, so we knew we had that one in the bag. Do you know how demoralizing that must be to be Vegas? Like, you know that your competitors are sitting there down 2-0, and they're like, yeah, but like at least we get game 4, right? At least we get game 4. So if these guys could fucking close the series, sure. Purge is also not the best Call of Duty player in the world. So I am not expecting this roster to survive into the next qualifier, if we're being honest. I feel bad because you don't ever want to talk about players in that way. At least I don't. You guys are assholes. That's different. Purge is not the best Call of Duty player in the world. So I don't think this roster lives to fight another day, unfortunately. If they do, the league's licking their lips, I guess. I don't know. So I'm assuming Purge is probably going to get moved. But yeah, so far, bros can't close the series. I think I'm okay with that. I think they deadass just shit themselves. I'm not gonna lie. I think they actually just kind of shit themselves. These guys have a hard point problem. No talk. No doubt about that. They have a respawn problem. Actually, they can't fucking win one. They were the best S&D team going into the event. Like I said, 9-1 online. You could tell that like the way they were playing searches had like levels to that shit. That like no other team was on. And then they showed up and didn't even win the guarantees being map 2. And when you rely, there's a couple of teams in the league that rely on extended series, and that is not a way to win in Call of Duty. You can squeak out some series like Seattle did. They got top 6 from game 5 cheese. But when you are a projected top 4 team with the amount of talent that they have, you're not going to win series relying on S&D and extending series. So honestly, I mean, this is the biggest disappointment of the weekend. We talked about it on the show. I think Pat kind of summarized it saying that it was like downright fucking blasphemous that these guys got last, which obviously I don't think they need anyone to tell them. They are well aware of that fact. So I'm expecting New York to improve. There's no roster change that you can make here, so that's not even in the question. These guys just need to put it together. They're still gross, still the world champs. Boston's maybe not their venue. They got dead last year too in Boston. Maybe they got a curse. I don't know. But these guys need to figure it out because the gap from them to LAG is much smaller than the gap from them to Optic. So they need to figure it out because dead last ain't good. Not gonna lie. I don't think any of them played well either. I don't even think it's just Dante. Like, people are saying that Sib's an onliner, but I don't think that any of them played well. Like, Dante obviously had a very good online stage, but I think that should be a way that we're praising him, not disrespecting him, because none of them played well. So they need to figure it out because they played like my ass and they suck at respawn. Carolina. This one's not hard. These three though. These three are gonna be hard. I mean, we might as well talk about LAT. Shit. They're not good. I feel bad. I do. They're not good. Oh, did Doug retire? Oh my god, did Doug retire mid-tier list? Holy shit. We'll get to that after. Yeah, LAT's not good, unfortunately. They are 1-12 in hardpoint. 1-12. Definitively the worst hardpoint team in the game. The next lowest team is 6 wins. They have 1. E tier, yeah, they might be in the depths of it, unfortunately. They have no cohesion, like, at all. If you guys listen to this team, like, when they play hardpoint together, all of their listen-ins are just like it sounds like rank play. Like, is the best way that I could like give you guys it's rank play. There's no like cohesion, there's no game plan, there's no 3-2-1s, there's no spawn calls, and when there is, it's like one time. It's not a consistent thing. And if you guys go back and watch their hardpoint from this weekend against LAG, they lost the Karachi hardpoint just from like comms diff. and they just like don't figure it out. You know, everyone saw the Shane tweet. They tweet, I think, was it 74% in scrims. They have a hard point win rate. I've seen Ken say it in multiple public settings like Twitch chat, Twitter, whatever. He said that they're very good in scrims. I've heard from other people in the league that these guys play well in scrims. I don't know the reasoning that they cannot translate it to a match. I don't know if it's like a similar Boston thing where it's just entirely fucking mental when you go from, in Boston's case, playing a good team versus playing a team that's like on your level or below, or when it's LAT, they go from practice to a match. Like, I have multiple firsthand accounts that this team is better than what they are right now, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. But to put it bluntly, they suck. And the roster change, like, argument is definitely there for these guys. Unfortunately, I think the first player to go would be Cam. He just like has not wowed me or probably anyone in the fan base, to be honest with you. Sorry, Cam. Love you, a great guy, but guys, you guys don't look great, chat. They don't look great. I mean, they could try to figure it out, but like, I don't know. Hopefully, rock bottom's a trampoline. They just don't have, like, every series has someone dropping like a 0.7, which you're not going to win doing that. Dan did have a phenomenal major. Well, the one series that they actually did get to play. He had a great series. So that's the one shining light, I suppose. They put themselves in good spots. They're actually decent at control, which is just the weirdest thing to me. They're 5-3 in control. Are they in S&D actually? Sorry, I have stats on the second monitor. I apologize for not bringing them up, but 4-5 in S&D, 5-3 in control, 1-12 in hardpoint. So they're basically 50-50 in S&D. Their control is like genuinely good. Only invasion, they 3-0'd Karachi as well. They are genuinely good at control. Like, no bias from a strict take the names off of the minimap and just arrows. They're genuinely good at control. So like that is the one fallback that they have, because I think that they have like a good grasp of the mode and like how to play it. Like I said, 50-50 in search, but like everybody and their mom knows that these guys just need to win a hard point. And I don't know if that's going to take a roster change. I don't know if that's going to take a mentality change. I don't know if that's going to take Jesus. I don't know. They need to figure it out. The Royal Ravens. My gut is C, because I don't think that they're as good as New York or LAG. I know Carolina beat New York, but I don't know if that is enough for me to put them in the same tier. This is a weird situation where I would put a team that beat another team pretty definitively below them. I think that they're C. I would love to put them higher. They had a very good major. They were extremely proactive, like making changes, which is a good thing in this league, because you guys have heard me talk about it ad nauseum at this point. When you build yourself an early season hole in the standings, it will fuck you real bad towards the end of the season for champs qualification. They got on top of it. They made a 2-person change. They basically unlocked Clay with Fellow on the team. You could tell in the listenings, you could tell in the way that Clay is playing. That motherfucker is shooting his gun real straight. So shout out to Clay. They were proactive about it, and I appreciate them for it. But I still think they're a C-tier team. I would love to put them in B, but I don't think that they're as good as LAG. And I think that, like, granted, they did beat New York, which I'm not taking them away from, not taking that away from them. But I just think that New York will be a better team than them. But Clay's been fucking shooting his gun, bro. That guy's gross. Gwyn had a pretty rough event. Or maybe rough series, I should say. But he's been like a very, very bright point for this team. He's my rookie of the year. Say it every time these guys play. He's been very good for them. Super consistent. That guy shoots dumb straight. So he's been a really good rookie for Clay to bounce off of. I love the Teej pickup. Teej has been playing super well. I'm fairly confident he's staying on the team. I don't think there's any world where like they go back to that Real thing with that. Teej has been playing really well. This team's really good at hardpoint, surprisingly. This is the weird thing about these guys, is that they're actually pretty decent at hardpoint. I think they went 6-1, I want to say, in their last 7. After like including the major, I think they're 6-1 in their last 7. Their search and destroy sucks ass, which is wild to think because Clay's traditionally pretty good at search. Fellow and Tej are like S&D stars to the stars. These guys are the worst search team in the league. Statistically, they're 2-11. So the one game mode that I would expect these guys to lock down, they are really, really poor at. They are a new roster, newish. So I would expect like they need a little bit more time. But that is the one saving grace. Well, not saving grace, but the thing that I'm confident about with this team is that like the game mode that they need to get better at, they have the players and the tools to do so in. So going forward, I'm high on Carolina. I would love to put them in B, but I just don't think that I can. I also don't think these are in order, by the way, within the actual tiers. I think I'm just going to do like where I think the teams are. Minnesota's B. These guys, real good. Holy fuck. Shout out Lamar and Linz. I need more from Wake, dude. Like I don't want to be negative, like super, super negative, because these guys had a really good event. But like fucking I need Wake to shoot his gun. Like Lamar is basically attached. Like Lamar's having like a renaissance year. Same with Linz. Is not a renaissance. He's rookie of the year as of this moment. That guy's gross. Linz is disgusting. Linz is the cornerstone of this team. He has been consistent from the beginning of the year to now. Every single map, that guy is doing the damn thing. So big shout out to Linz. That guy has been good through and through. Lamar started shooting his gun after the break. It looks like he has a very good grasp of the team. He always talks about the game plan on game day. You guys have heard it a million times. And he seems like he's getting the troops in order. He also had a good event. That wasn't just an online thing. So him and Linz both played well. Reese Vivid, high highs, low lows. I love Reese. I think his play style is underutilized most of the time. But I think on this team, it's actually a pretty good fit. But I just would fucking love if Wake, like he had moments. He did. He had moments this weekend that where we were like, fucking, there you go. What was the invasion hardpoint against New York? I want to say first round. He was frying. But if Wake could like tip the odds a little bit more, if he just stepped it up just a fucking little bit, this team could actually be, it's gonna be really scary. They have like a weird gimmick where they're very good in game 1, very bad at game 4. I think that they were, don't quote me on this, I know it's not right. It's in the realm of like 7-2 in game 1s, and they were like 0-6 in game 4s. So they have a very weird hardpoint dynamic. I don't know the cause of it. I'm not sure. They lost game 1 to Ultra Optic, but the 2 best hardpoint teams. What are you gonna do there?
Nice tier list, lil bro.
Thanks, baby bro. But yeah, again, they're against everyone that's not the best hardpoint teams in the game. They're pretty fucking good. S&D, I'm actually curious. So they're 7-7. I feel like that's a little misleading. And then Control, they're 50-50. Same with, so they're just 50-50 across the board essentially. But I love Linz. Gross. I need more from Wake. If that guy steps it up even a little bit, this team could genuinely be very, very scary. But as of right now, I think they're in B, which is probably a lot better than they were expecting. They got top 4, good CDL cushion in terms of points. They came back from the break. They were absolutely like my ass before the CDL break for that month. They came back and have been gaming since. And then there's the Seattle Surge. I'm trying to think if these guys need a roster change or not. I think like Alec is just not good, which I feel bad about saying. But like Alec is really just like not good. They have my least favorite like role dynamic in the league with Abuza running a sub, which granted, I actually think they lucked out with this title and it just happened to be AR heavy, so he like does it. But they have like one of my least favorite role dynamics in the league. I hate, fucking despise making someone run something that they're uncomfortable on. Whether he wants to do it, I don't know. I hope that it is a situation where he is choosing to do it, and if it's not, then holy fucking prayers. But I hate their roles. They are very good at search, very very good at S&D, and it is their one saving grace of the season so far, because they had like a skid of like 2-17 in hardpoint or in respawn game modes. What is their their S&D is 11-4. Quite good. Real good. They are 7-13 in hardpoint and 2-9 in control. League worst. These guys can't win a goddamn hardpoint to save their lives without an illy like fucking masterclass. So I don't know what they're going to do. I think they should still make a change, but the thing that happens in COD is that you think that your team is better than they actually are from like a player standpoint if you get a decent placing. So they got 6th, which is like where most people have them. Will they actually make a change? Probably not. They should, but they probably won't. Thank God they're good at search, because if they weren't, this team would be fucking dead last in the league. They just need more kills. They need more like everything in respawn. Their like win conditions are like insane, like pop off performances, which just aren't consistent enough in a league that's like this competitive at the bottom. So they need more in respawn, period. I want a Boozer to run an AR. I want them to pick up like a more grimy, like ratty sub for Kyler to play off of, or Hook, and just figure it out going forward. But I think this is where we're at in the league right now. The tiers are not in order. Like I said, I don't really care about the order of the tiers. I care more about where the teams actually are. But I think this is what we're looking like right now. And also, I think the gap from here to here, A to B, is massive. I think the gap from Optic to the rest of the teams is fucking huge.